Hey viewers and friends, Andrew back again and welcome to another video, and today I'm back with a horror update. I've got a mixture of stuff here. I've got a book, a comic and of course some movies to show you guys. So yeah, let's get started. So we're going to start with the book first, and this is an excellent book that I highly recommend, and it's the Mammoth book of slasher movies. This is basically an array of different sort of mini reviews for a bunch of different movies. It's sort of an A to Z guide, and I was pretty impressed with the range of films covered within this book. They mentioned some of the more common, mainstream, well-known stuff, as well as some of the more obscure stuff. So really solid mix. The book's laid out really well, as I said, mini reviews for whatever movie is listed, and they sort of give like a little ranking, a little splatter gore ranking for each movie, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I definitely recommend this book to anyone that is into horror themed movie books. So that's the Mammoth book of slasher movies. And moving on to a comic that I came across on eBay. I didn't even know that they published Child's Play 3 comics, but apparently this is like a little series. This is volume 1, awesome cover art on the front there, love that cover, and the back has the original theatrical poster art, which is always cool. I love that poster. But yeah, a pretty neat comic. It pretty much just follows the movie, very similar, and I'm not too sure how many volumes the Child's Play 3 comic series actually has. This is volume 1, so pretty cool. It was only $4 posted on eBay, so I thought why not. And the artwork inside is pretty cool. So yeah, that's the Child's Play 3 comic, volume 1. Alright, moving on to the movies now. So I picked up only one Blu-ray this time around. It's been kind of quiet in terms of pickups over the past month, or however long it's been since my last horror themed update. But anyway, I went ahead and upgraded Invasion of the Body Snatches to Blu-ray. This is the Umbrella release from Australia. This is the 70s version, by the way, so yeah, really happy to finally upgrade this one to Blu-ray. The next two, I've got Simon Explosive Action to thank for. He sent me a couple of horror themed or slasher DVD-Rs, which are two films that I've been wanting to see for a while. I think one kind of has an official DVD release, but it is out of print. It's kind of rare, and the other one I know for sure does not. Still haven't got around to watching these yet, but I definitely plan to check them out soon and review them. So the first one, of course, is Silent Madness, with awesome artwork on the cover there. I've heard this one's pretty good, so I'm really looking forward to checking this one out. And the next one I really haven't heard too much about, but it does look pretty cool, and that is Iced. I enjoy my snow-themed horror movies, so I'm expecting this to be fairly cheesy, but hopefully it's pretty decent. So yeah, looking forward to checking out Iced. If anyone out there has seen this one, I'm especially keen to hear thoughts on it. The next one is one that I've been wanting for a while, and that is Relic. A lot of you guys know that I'm a pretty big fan of the creature feature genre, and yeah, this is one that I've been wanting to check out for a while. So really glad to have picked up this local release for $5. I came across this one, so really couldn't pass it up, and I still haven't got around to watching it, but it's definitely on my to watch list to check out very soon. So that's the Relic. And the next lot I have seen, so I can give my overall opinions. So next up we have Here Comes the Devil, and I was really excited for this movie. I checked out some trailers and I'd heard a lot of positive things about the film. So going into it, I kind of did have fairly high expectations for it. I was kind of disappointed. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it certainly was not as good as I was expecting it to be, and it could have been made so much better. I really had an issue with some of the camera work within this movie. They'd do these stupid, annoying zoom-ins on characters throughout the film, which were really, really disruptive and completely unnecessary. The characters I was a little bit mixed on. I wasn't a massive fan of the two kids that played the children. I wish they'd got more screen time actually. The film kind of focused too much on the parents, I think. But yeah, it wasn't terrible, but it certainly wasn't anywhere near as good as I was expecting it to be. So it is Here Comes the Devil. The next one was Utter Garbage, and this was another one that I had fairly high hopes for. This one's from Sweden, I believe, and it is Cabin of the Dead. It's also known as Wither. This is basically an Evil Dead knockoff. And yeah, I checked out the trailer. The trailer looked pretty awesome, but yeah, this was pretty disappointing. The characters were very, very mediocre. I didn't think the movie was shot all that well. The lighting and some of the scenes looked absolutely terrible. And it did have some good gore effects, I'll give it that, but I think I went in expecting way too much. I was expecting something of the quality of the Evil Dead remake, and it just comes nowhere close to that. It's very, very low budget. But yeah, if I wanted to watch a really good cabin-themed horror movie, I'd skip this and just stick with the Evil Dead. So yeah, I do not recommend this one at all. So that's Cabin of the Dead. The next three I do highly recommend, so it's not all bad for this update. So next up we have John Carpenter's Vampires, and I cannot believe that it's taken me this long to own this movie, considering that I'm a massive fan of John Carpenter. And this movie was frigging awesome. I absolutely loved it. It kind of had that same sort of feel as From Dusk Till Dawn, kind of, except it's a very different film to From Dusk Till Dawn, but the setting kind of reminded me of it in sort of the road movie style to the film as well. But yeah, this was absolutely awesome, about a group of vampire hunters who basically took on a clan of vampire masters. Really, really well done. The vampires looked awesome. There were some awesome kills throughout, and I really enjoyed the sort of vampire mythology storyline that was thrown throughout the film as well. So if you have not seen this movie and you're a big fan of vampire films, I highly, highly recommend it. It was friggin' awesome. So that's John Carpenter's Vampires. The next one is a little horror anthology from the 70s, and I'd never really heard about this movie, until fairly recently. I was sort of looking up some horror anthology lists, and it is Dead of Night. This one was pretty good. It has 3 short stories on this one. It only runs for a total of 70 minutes, so it's not too long at all. I've got to say, not one of my absolute favourite horror anthologies, but it was still pretty solid. I will say though, the movie, or the DVD, is well worth picking up for the last story on this one, and that is Bobby. A sort of creepy Killer Kid style movie, and that was friggin' awesome. It went for nearly half an hour, and yeah, it was extremely well done. So I pretty much recommend picking up the DVD or the movie just for that segment, Bobby. Absolutely awesome. So yeah, if you're a fan of 70s horror anthologies, overall I would definitely recommend this one, and as I said, especially for the last story, Bobby. So that is Dead of Night. And to wrap up the update, last but certainly not least, we have Evil Ed. And I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to Magnus, Vault Keeper here on YouTube. I'll be leaving his channel link in the description box. Please check him out. We set up a little trade and he sent me this, and I have been wanting to see this movie for years now. Anyone who's familiar with the US DVD will know that it's been long out of print, and it does fetch some pretty hefty prices online, I've noticed. So it has always been out of my reach, but boy was this worth the wait. This was frigging awesome. I had so much fun with this movie. Basically it's about a guy who edits, he's a film editor, and he works for a splatter and gore side of a film company. So it's basically his job to sort of edit down all the movies, and yeah, he basically goes pretty insane and ends up going on a killing spree himself. Really well done. It's sort of got a lot of little nods to several different horror movies, which I really appreciated, and there's some nice sort of humorous comedic moments throughout the movie as well. Sort of towards the end I felt the comedy elements went a little bit too much. I kind of wish they'd toned it down a bit and perhaps kept it slightly more serious, but that's my only complaint. I really enjoyed this, and it was well worth the wait. I've been wanting to see this one for years now. So Magnus, thank you so much for doing the trade and sending me this one. At some point though, I would really love to own a copy of the US release, because I think the artwork on that DVD absolutely kicks ass. So if you've never seen this, I highly recommend it. In my opinion, it's an essential movie to check out for any horror fans. So that is Evil Ed, and I believe this one came out in the 90s, I think. I'm not entirely sure when exactly, but yeah, Evil Ed, it was friggin' awesome. Okay guys, so that does it for yet another horror update. If you've seen any of these movies, as always, please let me know what you think of them in the comments section below. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thanks a lot for watching.